Hi, thanks everybody for coming today. Imagine for a second that you could make a purchase right now, and I have a lot of echo. Imagine for a second that you could make a purchase right now, and by the time that this session is over, you could have the product physically on your hands. Well, today we're unveiling a solution that's a combination of things, but especially what we want to do is meet today's customers' echo. My company at Improntus, we always try to build great software, not just for our customers, but for our community. And when we partner up with Uber to build this shipping module integration, we knew it was definitely a step in the right direction. So what we are doing basically is taking the entire network of couriers from Uber and bringing it up to our community. So what we want is for your customers, Magento customers, eCommerce customers, to get their packages in 90 minutes or less. And that's basically exactly what we've achieved, thanks in part to our amazing speakers here. We have Su Ulcay. She's a partner manager at Uber Direct. She handles strategic partnerships and also handles key strategic relationships at Uber Direct. She's been helping us with her team with the expansion plans for this product and Magento in the US market. And on the other side here, we have Collier, who's the key decision maker at Wave Electronics. And Chris is a lot of things, but this is my personal consideration. He's a true innovator, starting from the point where I don't know where he got our code from, but he did, and he was the first one to get our code, and we built this amazing relationship where his team is working with my team, really fine-tuning the product. You know, there are like a lot of corner cases, and he was definitely key to refining the product. So a big shout out for Chris, because yeah, I cannot thank you enough for all of your hard work and your collaboration with us. So I want to get into the specifics of what the module does and how it works. But first, so can you walk us through Uber Direct? I know that all of us use the Uber app, but many of us may not know what Uber Direct is and what it's bringing to the table.
Yes, for sure. I don't know if my mic is on. Okay, perfect. It's really exciting to be here, and thank you, Nicanor. So I think everyone in this room is probably familiar with Uber is, and probably have used maybe an Uber Rides app while coming to this location, or maybe ordered food. What Uber Direct is, I'm going to get into that a little bit more, but how this solution came about is we actually live in a world where convenience isn't it's not just expected, it's really essential for customers. So I think throughout the pandemic and maybe even before that, we were quite used to getting our food delivered. But I think throughout the pandemic, customers got used to getting their, everything they want delivered to their house with a very flexible and different optionality that different merchants offer them. So that's where Uber Direct came in, and what we offer is a white label delivery solution that's transforming the way businesses move goods, delight customers, and drive growth, essentially. So if we look into kind of what Uber Direct is Uber's on-demand, same day or scheduled delivery as a service platform designed for businesses. So it allows different merchants, agnostic of their industry, to have access to Uber's vast network of couriers and to delight their customers with delivery without having to build out a national or global network of drivers. And so you get to be in full control of what your customer experience is. And so Uber Direct becomes the engine behind that seamless, fast, and reliable delivery for your customers. So that's essentially what Uber Direct is. And so how it works, it's actually very simple. It's 3 different ways, right? So one of them is an API integration. So if merchants already have their own platforms, it's a very simple plugin into their own delivery, their native channels, their apps. The other way is a dashboard that can be up and running really fast. And then the third way is a POS or e-commerce integration like Magento, which we're here to talk a little bit more about today. So from a customer's perspective, the experience is really simple. They go onto the website, they make a purchase, and they select delivery. And in real time, Uber dispatches a driver to come pick up that package and deliver it to their house or their preferred location. Not even, we don't just do B2C deliveries, we can also do B2B deliveries. So for example, we can also support, if you have technicians on site that need, parts in real time, we do also support those kind of deliveries as well. So what it does is it turns already a great buyer experience into an amazing, receiving and delivery experience as well for a lot of customers. So I think the other part that I want to talk about is why this is important, right? Like what kind of value does this bring to merchants and why is that important for them? I think one of them is, like I said, meeting customers where they're at, regardless of what their choice for delivery or speed of delivery is. Essentially, you need a partner that knows how to deliver goods and that knows how to do this reliably. That's where Uber comes in. This is kind of giving out the meeting customer expectations. It's also about being a solution that's cost effective and scalable. We don't have any hidden costs. You pay per delivery, and you don't pay for that integration, which I think you're going to talk about in a second here. So you don't have any fleets to manage. You can be confident that we do have the right chain of custody for delivering high-value products even. So we do have different proof of delivery methods that merchants can or customers can choose from that can be applied both at pickup and also at drop-off. Like we can apply different signatures, photo at delivery. You can do a signature based on the value of the product. So we do give the full different options based on what your needs are to essentially provide your customers that great delivery service and to match their great buying experience. So at Uber, we believe in making delivery as easy as booking a ride, and Uber Direct is not just a delivery solution. It's essentially a competitive advantage. It's helps drive business growth, and it's a customer retention tool.
So I want to highlight a few of the characteristics, talking about specifically about what we did with Magento. And there are 7 characteristics there. There are a lot more than we worked on. But you have ultra-fast delivery, the speed and reliability, taking into account the vast network of couriers that Uber has. It's just amazing. Like the speeds at which we are delivering packages is just unmatched by anything we've seen before. We even have customers getting deliveries in under 20 minutes. So we are not making that promise for our customers, but we actually did surveys. And so one of the first customers that used this module, we did the survey and we were like, hey, you ordered this product and then you ordered like a similar product like 20 minutes later, so what's up with that? And they were like, yeah, I like the product, so I want another one. And the shipping was so convenient that, I will keep asking products or ordering products on demand. So that's like a really key feature of the Uber Direct integration. Then you got real-time tracking, which is key. Because even if you take speed out of the equation, the real-time tracking is just amazing. It reduces anxiety a lot. Actually, there have been studies that show that customers will be 2 to 3 times more likely to make the decision and make the purchase if they know that they will have real-time tracking for their purchase. So that's really amazing. And that goes along with the real-time notifications, which is crazily good because we send you notifications basically at all steps on the flow. So we tell you when the courier arrives at the warehouse, when the courier goes from the warehouse to your location, and you really have a sense of when your package is going to arrive. Then we got dynamic optimization, dynamic dispatch optimization, which is we use Uber's advanced algorithms to get the best possible route every single time to get your package in the shortest time possible. MSI ready, this is a big one. We directly integrate into MSI, but if you don't have MSI, we got a backup plan for you. You can actually create waypoints on the system, and we will automatically detect the position of those waypoints, and we will add those locations into your dispatch network. So that works really well. Plug and play flexibility. The module is really simple to install, but if you want to customize it, you have, we're all for it. I think you, Chris, did quite a few customizations. So if you want to just use the simple stuff, you can just install it. If you want to customize, go ahead and customize. And there's one feature right there. I think it's a really important feature. It's free. So you can just go to the marketplace, and we're not going to charge you anything for it. I want to show you like a quick video of how this works, but it's going to be under a minute. So stay with me because this is going to be really fast. So there you have your typical Luma. You're adding a product into the cart. If you have your information already on the checkout, the speed at which you get the quote is ridiculous. So this is basically the whole flow, a typical flow from a user's perspective. Now, from the merchant's perspective, you go there, there's the order, you press the button, and boom, you get a rider coming into your warehouse. And this is one of the interfaces we use to track your order. And you can actually take this interface and modify it to make it white label and basically make it your own. You can even take this interface and put it into your application or anything you can think of. And there's one thing about this. You may have noticed the trip is very short, and you may be saying, hey, Nick, what's up with the short trip? Well, I do have very technical explanation. My dev team, after a lot of engineering, considered that it was really funny to make me walk those 5 streets. And I hate walking. I really hate walking. So yeah, that was a real test. I was part of this actual test. So this is how this all works in paper. But Chris here, he's the real case study. So Chris, can you tell us a little bit about Wave Electronics and your experience?
Absolutely. Thank you, Nico. We're just independent consumer electronics distributor in the United States. We have locations spanning all the way from LA now to Miami. So we have a great coverage. But we're always looking for ways to improve our digital experience. That's really big for me, and that's what I'm set out to do, is really try to look for new initiatives that are coming into the marketplace, but also trying to figure out what's being used in other places that makes sense for us, that maybe we're thinking about it a little bit differently. Because we are a B2B company, that is our use case. So we don't exactly fit the B2C mold. So we were trying to figure out what makes sense. How could we leverage something like this? So as a business, what we do is, if let's say a company is trying to start a new restaurant or a new bar, or let's say you want to put in a home theater system, you wouldn't go to Amazon and buy that, or Best Buy or some other big box store. You'd buy it through a contractor who would come in and spec everything out, get all the right wires and all the cables and everything to be able to do that installation. We're the provider, the distributor of those goods. So for us, what we see more times than not, this was a scenario that made sense in a unplanned events, is kind of what we're calling it. We see where guys are on a job site that may be on the other side of town, that if they get in there and they realize, hey, I need an extra set of something, or I need another box of wire, or they get into the wall or the ceiling and they realize, hey, I have this much depth, but then when I cut the hole, I realize there's actually something in there impeding it, so I need a smaller or shallower speaker to go in that place. Well, if he's 30 minutes away, that's 30 minutes back to the store, 30 minutes, check out, do his thing, and then 30 minutes back. So it takes that guy time to not be on the job site. So for us, this was an exciting thing that we could offer digitally, is being able to roll this out into our Adobe Commerce platform. And as Nika just showed, it is seamless. It is a checkout experience. You're able to add this as it's sort of complementary to what we're already doing in some of our other use cases, where we may have couriers, where you're planning this stuff out. This is totally separate from that. This is, I'm on the job site, I need this now and I can't leave. And so this was perfect for us to be able to implement it.
Amazing. I think we've got like a few more minutes for questions, but before I want to ask some questions. Sue, how do you see this technology specifically affecting our community, the Magento community?
Yeah, thanks for that, Nico. So I think this is a great advantage for the Magento community, for the broader e-commerce ecosystem. It's really about raising the standards, like I said, and giving your customers that fast, flexible, and seamless, as Chris mentioned, delivery. Customers are demanding convenience and speed more than ever, so it's really giving them the option to have that delivered to them, whether it's a customer or a technician on site. The integration, it's really making it possible for merchants to offer it to their customers, to kind of step up and deliver that service, right? So for the Magento community, it's even more exciting because this module is built specifically to plug into Magento, in a seamless way, so merchants don't have to worry about integration or huge development work. It lets them what they do best. It helps them grow their business while making sure that their customers are getting a top-tier delivery experience.
Right, and looking into the future, what we expect in terms of the expectations of the customers, because they're going to be, I guess, getting more accustomed to ultra-fast delivery. So how is Uber going to cope with the expectations of your clients on the future?
That's a great question. So I think there's different ways. We are, first and foremost, a technology company. We are an innovator company. So we try to look into what customer expectations are shifting, what our merchants are demanding. And so there are different trends that we're seeing. I think one of the ones is, speed is not going to be kind of a differentiator. It's going to be an expectation of the customer. So we have to meet that, right? And we have to do this, and we have to get this right. First and foremost, we have to give them that reliable experience. We have to make sure that we're providing them with real-time tracking, that communication throughout their delivery experience. So their experience don't just end at the checkout button. It continues all the way through when they receive that product at their hands. That's definitely one of them. I think being closer to where customers are, so shipping from stores, that's going to be really important for our different merchants as well. Depending on if you're a retailer, if you're shipping from your DCs, maybe you want to get into more closer to where your customers are located. Maybe you're using different distribution centers. So we're trying to look into what our merchants are trying to fulfill their products are from, and trying to provide them with access to our vast delivery network to be able to provide to their customers. The other one I would say is definitely personalization, and I think this is going to be with the help of the AI. How that's going to work out, I think we're all going to be at the forefront of that, and we're going to see how that unfolds. But another one I definitely say is really important is sustainability. Right, so being close to your customers, electric and bike-powered deliveries. We do have in some major cities, we do have two-wheel couriers, we call them, and in addition to four-wheel couriers, where these are delivery people who are doing deliveries with e-bikes, or maybe they are walking, maybe they're biking. So, and also eco-friendly packaging, from what we see, is really important. So at the end of the day, I think at Uber, we recognize these shifts and we want to make sure we're staying at the forefront of all these innovations.
Amazing. And Chris, I know you're not our typical merchant, definitely not, but what advice could you give to a merchant that is thinking about getting into this?
I think really evaluating your customer base, to be honest. That's really where we dove into this, to try to understand what would help our customers, what would save them time, what would give them a better digital experience, is what I tend to call it. Even though this is a physical and logistical challenge, it is something we were able to solve by way of technology. So I would say evaluate your customer needs and figure out what makes sense, the parameters. And there are certain, I don't want to say restrictions, but there are parameters that Uber provides, because you don't know if someone's showing up with a Prius or a minivan, So we've got to make sure that the product fit makes sense for the technology as well. So there's a number of things to consider, but overall, it is quite flexible.
And speaking about specifically, like we have cases of clients that they had a challenge in their warehouse administration because they were used to, I don't know, maybe preparing the packages, and by the end of the day, the packages are on the door, and they have the courier picking them up, and having this flow where you have riders coming like more frequently to pick up packages. Was that a challenge for you and your warehouse administration? How did you handle that?
Great question. And to be honest, no, it was not a challenge for us. We do a lot on the warehouse and shipping and receiving side as a whole. And so for us, what we were able to do is we just set up another rack that's Uber specific. The other things that we do that are similar are couriers or will call pickup type situations where they're handled in the warehouse in real time. Everything is prepped and then put aside for whatever that method of fulfillment is. So this was as easy as adding another rack for the warehouse team.
Amazing. Perfect. So I think we need to wrap up, but before we do, to sum this up, I really want to think about customer experience, and I think we all agree that having Uber's carrier network to give a phenomenal delivery experience is definitely something that up-levels your store's experience. And we are basically competing in an ecosystem with other players, so I think this is eventually going to be a requirement at some point. I want to thank the Meet Magento organization for inviting us here, and you all for coming. And since we are big believers on giving back, especially to our community, to any merchants that want to integrate with this, just go ahead and talk to us on the booth. We'll give a free integration of this module. Again, it's simple, but we're going to be giving a free integration of the system. And yeah, just go and talk to us. And with that said, let's jump right into Q&A.
Any questions from the audience, please?
This sounds like a really good option. With speed to market, do you see increased fraud rates coming with that? And if so, how do you then combat the fraud side from the delivery or from the vendors themselves?
Fraud?
The fact that this is real time.
Right.
Do you see fraud rates increase because of that? And then how do you go about combating the fraud side of it?
Actually, we haven't seen anything like it, but what would you say, Chris?
Yeah, for us, it's not exactly applicable in our business model because you have to be a registered dealer to be able to get in and make the transaction. So we know exactly who they are when they make it, and they've got to go through a dealer vetting process. So we don't really see any fraud related to this so far, thankfully, but we've been in a good place.
Any more questions from the audience? Okay, let's give a round of applause to our speakers. Thank you very much.